So, girls, how are you?
Good, thank you.
You sound
And
like
you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'll start where I mean to. You're going to be in Blackpool in a couple of 2 weeks. 2 weeks today.
Yep, the 2nd of August.
Are you excited to be back at Rebellion Festival?
We are excited. Beyond excited. It's like our favorite festival ever. It's really, really cool. It's insane.
Because you're playing 2 sets again, aren't you? You're playing three sets.
Yeah.
Crazy. How are
I don't know why they did that, but no, we did last year. We're gonna play like a normal set, then we're gonna do acoustic and then after party. Yeah, the after party's wild.
Right, is that's actually in the Winter Gardens?
I think it's at a place called Tash. Yeah. The Ash Bar. The after party. Yeah, it's part of Rebellion, but fuck it. Yeah.
It's all one big weekend.
Unofficial. Yeah.
It's all one big weekend of fun. How do you find playing on Rebellion? Because it's quite a different festival. I mean, you get to play the acoustic stage. Like, there aren't many rooms like that in the world.
No, even last year, I will say, when we played the acoustic, then we were shocked because, I don't know, there was like so many people and then everybody had such a good time. It was cool. It was like being in a bar and everybody was drinking and jolly. And yeah, I think it's great that for such a big festival, there's so many diverse stages, and the acoustic stage isn't some long forgotten part. It's central to it. Yeah, and it's appreciated. It's cool.
Yeah, I think it works. It being in kind of the bar as well, because it gives it that more chilled environment.
Yeah. No, exactly, and it's a good contrast to like the more extreme acts out and around, you know. So it's good. We really enjoyed it, and I love that you've got such an array of people there, all kinds of punks, all kinds of tastes, and you know. It's interesting that you get exposed to music maybe you wouldn't necessarily seek out, but you hear and you end up liking. So it's people maybe they're not initially like open or whatever, but then afterwards they're like, oh, okay, no, I get it. Yeah, it's a celebration of individuality and originality there, which we really appreciate.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, like I'm a big fan of the Petrol Girls, and they obviously played last year. And I was really worried because the first year I'd gone, there was this real kind of old school punk ethic, and the Petrol Girls are quite anti that. So I was quite worried, but you watch them and no, everyone kind of watched, everyone enjoyed it, and everyone was just having as much fun as they would watching the Petrol Girls as they would be watching someone like, you know, Cockney Rejects or someone like that. Like they're really accepting of all the different genres of punk that are on the festival. Are there any bands you're looking forward to seeing while you're there?
Oh, definitely. I want to check out the Svetlanas because I think that they're great, and I love that they stand up for like real issues or issues that are real to them. And I think that the front woman is like epic. And then we want to check out the Buzzcocks. She loves Strange Bones. Yeah, because last year when we played there, then we were walking out and they were playing the introducing stage. Yeah. And then I was like, wow, who's that? And then I went to go get like, you know, the pamphlet thing, and it shows like the times and who's playing. And I was like, oh, they're called Strange Bones. I was like, fuck, they sound really, really good. And then I went on the internet and I listened, and I was like, wow, I really like them. So. Yeah,
because they've been bumped to like they're opening the main stage, I think, this year.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Yeah. They're really fucking cool. Yeah, if you watch them, they're like live shows, and that they have a lot of energy. Yeah.
And they're very, obviously for this country, they're a very political band. Which
they're very political. Again, we respect that.
Yeah, which I think we've missed in this country. Like, the UK's not had any really political punk bands for a little while.
I think it's because people are too PC, which isn't what punk is. Punk's not supposed to be PC at all.
No, definitely not. And I know what you're saying about the Svetlanas. I mean, the lady from the Svetlanas scares the shit out of me.
I know, that's not like her. I think she's fucking epic. But you know what? I bet you this. I bet you she's the nicest person off stage you'll ever meet.
I would imagine so.
It's always like that. Her shoes. It's always like that. You know what I find? I find people that are manic on stage are usually the nicest people, and the people that act all sweet and all that fuck off. Yeah. They're not nice.
No, I made my wife go photograph the Svetlanas last year because she had no idea, and she fucking loved them, but she wasn't expecting that level of energy at all.
Yeah.
I know this year you've been having some issues with Facebook and censorship. Is that all out of the water now, or are we still?
No, unfortunately, no. Like, even now when we try and post stuff, then it's like it gets hidden or flagged as, I don't know, as terrorism or some shit.
Yeah, we had our page that we've had for 7 years taken away before we started the tour, and people petitioned it and we got it back. But then during the tour, when we were in France, we had our page just removed completely.
But it was after we did an interview, like, basically saying how it is in South Africa, the political situation, the president there, because he's a rapist, he is. And then suddenly it just got all taken down.
Yeah.
And even now, when people like type in our name, it's very, very difficult for them to find our stuff.
Yeah.
It's like it's been blocked or something.
Yeah, not everyone can find our page even, and it might seem like a simple thing, but it's not. It's really bad. You can't just remove someone's like artistic expression that they've had for 7 fucking years. Videos, messages from people who have now passed on, but were fans.
And people can say, oh, but you post maybe like risque photos. No, I've seen violence and pornography on Facebook. That doesn't get taken down.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I mean,
as soon as you make people ask questions,
then suddenly you can't say that, you can't do this, no, take them down.
Yeah, because I listened to an interview and you mentioned, obviously said something about the politics in South Africa. I mean, do you girls still go back to South Africa, or?
We do, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, our music we wouldn't do the kind of music we do if we were from a happy place.
Like Hawaii or something.
No.
But obviously coming out and saying those things, like, have you got any fears about going back to South Africa, like?
Sometimes,
we do get death threats, but I mean, that happens anyway, so
fuck it.
It's never happened to me.
Even ISIS, before it used to be ISIS, because she wrote like, fuck ISIS on it myself. Even we have a t-shirt that says fuck ISIS, and we get death threats like every single day.
See, that seems crazy to me.
We've even had people threaten that they're gonna fight us at Rebellion.
It's like, okay, well then let's do it.
One thing I just don't understand about people is like, they can have an opinion, that's fine, but the opinion is based on stupidity and ignorance, a willful ignorance. They don't want to know more, they don't want to learn more, they just want to have this prejudiced view of you, and
their ego is so big that they think their opinion is the God's truth.
So as soon as it's like cognitive dissonance. As soon as you give them something else to think about, they go ballistic,
and then they try pulling at other like things and try to bring that in, but it's like, that's beside the point.
And it's shit. It's the same. On our first tour we had, we were attacked as well by the same kind of people who keep threatening us at Rebellion, and it was in Hastings, and I was on our first tour. Now we're gonna go and play a show in Hastings,
not at the same place because it got closed down,
and we're just I don't know. It's kind of scary because the kind of people who attacked us were pretty psychotic.
I'm gonna wear sunglasses this time.
Nah, I will say we're gonna I'm gonna take a shit and I'm gonna preserve it in a glass jar. I'm gonna piss in as many bottles as I can, keep it, and if anyone causes any shit, I don't give a fuck. I'll break my base on them. I'm sorry, and they're gonna get shit poured down their fucking throat. Sorry, after what happened to us, whatever, it's the same. When we're performing, I'm so aggressive and I'm so ready. Like, if people are up and try to fight with me, go for it. It's fine, because if you don't knock me out, if I get back up, I'll fuck you up so badly you'll never walk again. You'll always remember when you walk with a limp what happened. And people will know, don't fuck around like that, man.
It shouldn't be like that. I mean,
it shouldn't. I hate it. When I'm performing, half my mind is thinking, like, okay, fuck, like who's coming for it or whatever.
But I will say, maybe it's kind of not a good thing that it happened. You learn from everything. Like, even whenever I'm on stage, I like watch the whole room the whole time. Like watching everybody. Like, what's this?
We've had neo-Nazis like try fuck up our show as well, and you just think, what the fuck? So I've broken bottles on stage and jumped off and told the rest of the band to keep playing, and I've gone and tried to sort out people or whatever, and it's fine. But it's like annoying. Our manager had a leg fucking broken at a show because of people like that. People are stupid. We don't have anything else. This is all we've got. So when they try to fuck with our life and our livelihood and shit, it's not going to be pretty for them or us.
Yeah.
And it's the same. We don't come from a first world country where it's all like fairy dust and pixies and happy. They should know by our music that we're pretty fucked and deranged, and we don't stand for any bullshit. We've had enough of it. We started out street performing when we were kids, 8 and 9, and we had so much shit just doing an innocent thing like raising funds for charity and singing and dancing on the street and playing music. We got so much shit, so it gave us the thickest skin you could ever have. So when we play and we've got people threatening us, bring it.
There you go. There's a warning to everyone.
Yeah.
I mean,
people are just crazy, you know. Like they insult people they don't know. We've been with the major label. We were stuck in a contract for 4 years. Had commercial success. It's not us. We fought so hard for our own like artistic freedom.
Yeah.
So when we perform how we do, and people give us shit for how we dress, not even for our music, I always say to them, you'd never go up to the dwarves, for instance, or any male, and say to them, "Oh,
why do you dress? Why do you play naked? Or why do you do that?"
Our drummer never gets asked why he's playing topless. People assume that he's just hot. Why can't we also just be very hot?
Well, this is the thing I always try and argue with people. It's like, why? Because, like you say, you're sexualizing yourselves by being naked, but the guy from the dwarves is just playing naked. Like, I don't understand why
but you see, that's society.
Yeah.
You see, I believe this is a very fucked up problem with society. They've reserved, especially the woman's body, for sex and pornography. So the only time that people are seeing a woman maybe topless is in that situation.
They think that that's associated with that, and that's the only place it should be.
So when you're playing and you're wearing, I don't know, body paint or feathers or whatever,
and you're not asking for anything, you're just being.
Yeah.
They can't grasp that.
Yeah.
And you've started rattling their cage, but when people watch our show, they get it immediately. They understand. It's only people who watch on the sidelines, and they are so prejudiced and stupid. So they try to fight us for, I don't know what the issue is. It's insane. Even we've had like other female bands break our stuff,
which is so stupid. You'd think that people would stick together
at a fucking punk festival.
It's mad. It's madness.
It's insane. We've had like posters like up in band rooms desecrated. Ours are the only ones, and you just think to yourself, what the fuck?
Even I'll never forget, we played. It was Nice and Sleazy. It was last year
in Morecambe,
and we had these big, like, you know, those giant life-size posters that you like roll up and like silk screen. Yeah. We had those. And we'd
worked our asses off to pay for that, and it cost a lot of money.
And this woman, she came and she was going insane, and she just took a knife and she was just like stabbing the it was fucked up. Yeah.
And they call us like sluts and stuff, but you're just thinking to yourself, like, I don't believe in sex before marriage, neither does my sister, and nothing wrong with it. She's straight edge, I do drugs and I drink, I don't care. But the thing is, people judge and they call us names and things, but I ask them, how many people have you slept with? By your own definition of,
and then they
calling us sluts and whores and skanks, you are what you've just called us.
And then they watch like Love Island or whatever, and that's fine.
Well, I there was a stat I saw. It's like, what's the difference between a person who's slept with 100 people or a person who's had sex 100 times?
Yeah.
They've still had sex the same amount of times.
But it's people's perception.
Yeah.
It's the same, like, people, I don't know, people's mentality is bizarre.
It is
I just don't get it. So if you dress a certain way, then you look a certain way. But what they should remember is all serial killers look like everyone else.
They didn't look like punks.
No.
Name me one serial killer that looked different with a mohawk.
True. I mean,
and people are pathetic.
They put so much store in the wrong thing. Like a nipple or something will get people up in arms. But like
animal abuse, so animals being abandoned and left in rescue centres, about to be dead. They get given a week to live at most pounds. Now no one does anything about that. And look at the slaughterhouses. How are the practices? Do people give a fuck? No. But they see a nipple and suddenly they go apeshit.
It's a weird.
It's the same as the people in London. I didn't understand this. 100,000 people got together and spent so much money,
£1 million for a stupid Trump balloon,
in order to protest,
just so they could be trendy.
You know, he's got fuck all to do with England. He's not going to fucking change your laws or impact them in any fucking way.
They should have been marching and doing big things about the wage that people get paid here and the long hours that people have to work. That they should be marching.
There should be way bigger things that people are fighting for, not other people people's freedom. It seems like the more free you are, the more threatened people get by you. It's insane. And it's sort of like a corporate thing. Like, we believe in making your own clothes and going to secondhand stores and things like that. But a lot of people look at how we make our own clothes and they're insulted and they find all the negatives in it. But what they don't realize is they've been brainwashed by all these corporate companies to buy.
But these are the same kind of people, though. They'll see somebody that's, I don't know, overweight or really skinny or something, and they'll get more offended, or they'll have more of a problem than the actual person.
Yeah.
About it. Like, I have small boobs or whatever, and people go on and on about it. It's like, they're my tits. I don't care. So why do you care? They're not yours. It's not your problem.
Exactly.
But I don't know, the thing that gets to me is when people come up to me after a show and they say, "You're really talented. Why do you dress like that? You don't need to." And I look at them, I'm like, excuse me? The fuck did you just say? I'm like, oh my god. Like, honestly, how dumb can you fucking well be?
Does that spur you on to do it a little bit more?
No, I've always been this way. How I am on stage is very dressed for me. I'm a naturist at home. So for me, my perception of what's normal is very different maybe to a conservative person, but it's not up to me to dress to make them feel comfortable.
And anyway, on stage, it's fun. It's meant to be like, I don't know, fantasy, another world. Yeah.
Look at Axl Rose when he was prancing around in his underwear. No one said to him, "Hey,
you're selling sex."
Yeah. Fuck it, man. I think there should be a lot more dressing up or a lot more freedom.
Even like we watched, you know, Doyle.
Yes, yeah.
And he performs with no shirt on, like, and then his tight pants and that, and
no one would ever question that
because he's like muscled and built or whatever. But I bet you maybe I don't know if it would be the same if he was like, I don't know if he was a chubby bunny or something.
Yeah.
Like, would people go insane, or would they question it, or I don't know.
People are just too judgmental. Like, I'm sick and tired of people telling me what empowerment is and that how I dress is not empowering. It's like, that's my choice.
Surely having the choice is empowerment in itself.
Yeah. I don't know, I just don't get people. But, so, the thing for us is, like, we fight so much hatred, but the weirdest thing is that it often comes from people who are supposedly alternative.
Yeah.
Even in the punk community itself, we often get a lot of shit. And I find it quite weird because we stand up against people forcing
judgments on other people. And like, even the punks or whatever from the 80s, they dealt with so much shit because of how they dress. So you would think maybe that they, having dealt with that, would see us and think, maybe we shouldn't give them so much shit and be so judgmental because that's what happened to us and we didn't like it.
Because people have got to realize as well, if we dressed like the other bands and we just wore, like, you know, the like little leather pants and the little tops or whatever, and we were PC and stuff, of course we'd have an easier time. But why should we do that? I wouldn't feel fucking comfortable at all. But it would make other people feel better about themselves. Bullshit. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. They're still going to find a problem.
People will hate you no matter what. And I think that what people need to realize is we're going to just carry on. We're not stopping.
Yeah.
It's everything we have.
A pair of Doc Martens doesn't make you a punk.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't, but a lot of people do. They think that they get a mohawk and they paint it different colors and they've got a terrible attitude and they feel that they own the word punk. But telling other people what punk is and how they should dress and that's the least punk thing I could ever think of.
I would think that somebody like, say, I don't know, dressing in a business suit or I don't know what, and going to a punk festival, that's more punk because you have the balls to step out and be what everybody else isn't.
There's a task for you.
Yeah.
Someone go to Rebellion in a business suit.
No, but people are crazy. I look at the freedom that people have had on Rolling Stone covers and but from years before, and you look at music videos. Imagine a music video like Legs by ZZ Top nowadays. People would go apeshit.
They say it's sexist.
They would say it's sexist.
Even, you know, Michael Jackson's song, what was it? The Way You Make Me Feel.
But I mean, you know,
people nowadays say, "Oh, he's trying to rape her."
It's you know, where do you draw the line? There needs to be like pure artistic freedom. If people are offended by something, the best thing they can do is to try to figure out
the bathroom. take their head out their ass and smell the fresh air and realize that life is short. Stop worrying about the dumb shit.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. But I mean, they should also question why they feel that way, and if it's based off something real or conditioning by society.
Yeah.
I think society keeps people in check by fear, and even we write so many songs against it. Like, there's a song we've got, it's called "In the Name of God," and we say people need to stand up for fucking animal rights. We write it from the perspective of an animal in a slaughterhouse, but it also applies to people that are political prisoners, people getting bombed by foreign countries because they've been called terrorists. The real terrorists are the politicians, plain and simple.
I can't argue with that.
You've got the most to gain by having animosity and fights. That's it. If you look behind all the laws and things getting passed, you need to think deep, but people don't. They just take it. And then they wonder why we suddenly have no fucking freedom. Hitler did the same thing. He passed many laws silently. By the time people caught on, it was a bit late. Yeah. Even speaking out was against the law, and it will happen again. How to say, self-absorbed and so stupid and arrogant to think that it will never happen. It will happen again.
And to be fair, it's probably one of the downfalls of social media, because people can only see what's on their timeline these days. They don't necessarily look at what's happening in the bigger picture.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's fucked up. So much hate out there as well. And that's another thing I never understand. People spend so much time belittling and hating on anyone for doing like daring to be different, but what a waste of a life. You know, you meet people that are 92 and you talk to them and they say life is so short, you've got to just be passionate about something, and it doesn't matter what anyone else says. You got one life and it goes fast.
Yeah, well, like, the easy thing is, if you don't like what the soap girls are doing, just go look at some else. Yeah.
Well, exactly. That's the thing. But you get people; they'll go on every single one of your fucking videos.
It's the same.
And like
people, you know, people that hate the Kardashians or whatever. It's like, why do you go on all of this stuff then? Like,
I don't fucking know, man. I don't care.
It's like you're obsessed then.
Yeah.
It's the same with us. Like my favorite is this though. People will share a photo of us, and people say, "Oh, anorexic sluts and whores," and then I come up and I say, and I reply, I say, "Well, come on." Anorexic, I said, no, you're glorifying obesity and overweightness. You're so accustomed to seeing people that are overweight that when you see someone that's actually like in their ideal shape and the way that people were in the 70s, it blows your mind because you're not used to it. And I said to people they should stop, and it's a lot of people are like, oh, you're being objectified. No, I'm not being objectified at all. I've never been disrespected for dressing how I do by anyone but another woman. It's other women who objectify other women and cause problems. Sorry, I'm gonna just say it. I never understand that. Like, you get some amazing women out there, but the first one to call another woman something really derogatory,
or a whore, it's
another woman. Stupid. You get the odd bitch man or whatever who does it too, but
because he's trying to score like brownie points with his girlfriend or something.
I don't know what his issue is, but okay, yeah, but it's crazy. I don't get it.
I can't.
Musicians that haven't.
Yeah, the worst is a musician that hasn't made it. It's sad.
Jealousy is a bitch.
Yeah. Because think about it, we're not doing covers, we're doing original fucking music. We tour 8 months of the year. We give up a lot to be able to do what we're doing. So, and it's not comfortable. It's fucking hardcore. The van that we're touring in is fucking tiny, and we're in there for months. And people like give you shit, and you just thinking to yourself, no, come on. And we don't like the thing about people saying, like it's about selling sex. We've got blind. Yeah, we've got blind fans. There's nothing wrong with being sexy, but we do at the end of the day have blind fans. People who've never seen what we look like, but they download the music. And also the other thing is we've never actually been to watch another performer besides ones that we've shared the stage with. But we went and we watched Doyle a few nights ago, and
a lot of people argue. They say, "Oh, at our concerts,
it's just middle-aged
men." But if you look at the demographic of punk music and rock music,
it's men.
It's mostly men who like that kind of music. Not unfortunately, sorry, but that's just the way it is.
So we went to Doyle's show, and it was quite eye-opening for us that we noticed more older guys than at our shows even, and maybe 3 women. One was the one guy's mom, but I mean, still, she can't. I'm just saying. But so people's philosophy that if you're a woman, then
no, but then that's like it's kind of like reverse sexism. So it's like because you're a man, you can't enjoy music because it's a female playing guitar, oh, you're a perv or something. No, fuck off.
Everyone's going to get old, and when people insult older fans for going to music, I don't understand. I'm going to be old one day. I'm going to be 70. I want to go to a rock show. What am I going to be called, a cougar?
Obviously, if somebody's standing there rubbing their crotch, that's weird.
Yeah, that's fucking weird.
Yeah,
we haven't had that in the show. Yeah, I mean, for fuck's sakes, you know. Our fans are amazing, though. We've got a wide range, men, women, everything, and they're great. They are outcasts. They all are pretty fucked up, but I think because we are too,
so we attract them.
Yeah, I don't know. They feel they can be their true crazy selves at our shows, which is great, and I appreciate that.
Cool. I want to try and finish the interview on one question. So obviously you're playing Blackpool. Blackpool Tower Circus is massively famous. If you could perform one circus act there, what would it be?
Ooh. What do you mean?
Like if you could do, I don't know, like contortion, or just, would you be a juggler?
Oh shit!
She has a double jointed back, so she'd probably do like contortion, and she can like twist her hand around. I can show you if you want.
I don't know, do like cool tricks on your back, man.
What she can do with her hand.
Okay,
can you see?
Don't pull my crotch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
She can
it looks better in real life. I don't know, but I can't do it with the other hand.
And me, I would probably.
Jump through a fire hoop.
No, I just turned it into a comedy act or something.
Yeah, I
didn't burn down the place. And
Yeah.
like, haha, no.
Well, clowns are a big part of the circus.
Oh yeah, I'd probably be a clown. Yeah, I'd be a clown.
There you go.
I'd probably be like a psycho sick clown though.
Yeah, giving everyone laughing gas and hitting them in the face.
Yeah.
So the Joker.